Happy full moon. Happy full moon, everyone. Today is the full moon in Aquarius. It is the 9th of August, 2025, and we are tapping into my starseed deck. I can't tell if that music's too loud or not. We're tapping into my starseed deck, and as you can tell, I have a little bit of a sore throat here. I've had some really intense allergies over the past week. The 9 of Cups card has come out quite a bit when it's come to cord cutting and stuff like that. And that's exactly what we're about to talk about. So some of you guys are either experiencing lots of ascension symptoms, allergies, lots of purging of the physical body. You could experience almost like flu-like symptoms or like cold and things like that. Lots of pain and pressure coming through the heart chakra for those of you who are sensitive on that level. And emotionally, lots of spite, anger, rage, toxic energy, encroaching. So some of you guys, I just did another reading before this one, and it really highlighted coping mechanisms, addiction, and codependency, which I've been talking about like quite a bit for the past couple of weeks. And this is going to take that a little bit further. So I just kind of broke that down in my last post for the Lionsgate. This is going to expand off of that. So it's not just going to talk about those things, it's going to talk about other things as well. But this is pertaining to cords that you're cutting and people that you're going to be separating from in this new timeline. Or confirmation. Excuse me. Okay. So some of you guys are connected or were connected to a collective here that is being called away from you at this time. We have wait and reverse and forge, don't follow, pave a new path, be the leader that you wish. So these two cards give me the sense that this collective wants to move forward, wants to take lead, wants to be an authority, and is being guided to wait, but is refusing this. This collective is also being clarified by the 7 of Swords. So deceit, a lot of deceit here. They could be lying, sneaking around, in denial, but I'm also getting that energy towards themselves. There's something about the energy present here that is deceptive in itself for this collective. Like they're not able to see what they're being offered clearly due to most likely egoic reasons. I'm getting a lot from the solar plexus, pride, control, and insecurities coming up here. So this collective is really being guided to, it's interesting, a new beginning here. That would be fulfilling for this collective, but there's an aspect of accountability and taking responsibility that this collective is learning healthy habits around, because this is surrounding masculine energy, but there's healthy masculine energy and then there's toxic masculine energy. My solar plexus keeps getting tight where I have a shortness of breath. So if you hear me get short in my breathing, that's why. This collective's energy is gripping for control of the solar plexus while cutting off the heart stream, and the heart operates on air. Do you understand? So like the solar plexus operates on combustion, fire, and air, and the heart operates on air. So if that air isn't being filtered into the fire of the solar plexus, that action and forward movement isn't going to happen. And so basically what I'm getting here is there's a collective that keeps forcefully pushing themselves towards some kind of leadership, but there's no heart energy, there's no air behind it. So it's almost like, can you imagine a car that doesn't have enough gas, but we're still trying to force it forward and it's jolting like that? That's kind of what I'm getting from this. So This is giving pushy energy. It's giving prideful arrogance. It's giving I'm right even when I'm wrong. And it's heavily focused on this 8 of Pentacles, money. I'm also getting this could involve sexual encounters, cheating, third parties, addictions, drugs, alcohol, rock and roll. Drugs, sex, and rock and roll. Right, that's kind of what I'm getting with this. And we have behind it the Justice card. So if you are tied to someone like this, you most likely have rebalanced your life in some manner. Confirmation. You have rebalanced your life in some manner and you're ready to take the next step. The problem is that in order to take that next step and move into this portal that we have over here, you got to cut off this cord at the heart, because it is gripping to your heart energy, your love, and it is cutting off your combustion as well, your solar plexus movement forward as well. So while this collective does seem to be suffering with some deep insecurities and feeding off of this feminine collective as a means of confidence and authority, they're coming at this with a very playful energy, and it's disguised as it's disguising a lot of siphoning that's happening beneath the surface, energetic sovereignty. So between these two collectives, energetic sovereignty and life lessons, this is a karmic lesson on what you deserve and what you don't deserve, what you should be putting up with and what you shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like reciprocity. And I feel like this collective has been working on that for quite a while with the Justice card beneath all of this. But it's been, oh my goodness. It's been a consistent, repetitive path that some of you guys have gotten. You've forgotten how far you've come. You've forgotten how much you've worked through things. You've forgotten certain aspects of your path. And this might be bringing it back up. We have the 10th house, Pisces and Mars energy coming out of the astrology dice. 10th house being about reputation. It's connected to Capricorn. And this full moon is about Aquarius. So the future, in Plutonian energy playing a very heavy role in this full moon and what we're shedding. I'm going to take a deep breath here. Let's see if I can disconnect from this energy for a second. Okay, I'm hearing it's tapping out soon. This energy is experiencing a lot of challenges with anxious attachment. Specifically, this energy is trying to find something to cling on to, much like a mother. Okay, this energy is suffering from a deep root wound. So a wound around who they are. There's a multitude of traumas that can feed that, but the specific ones coming up are neglect, betrayals, sexual traumas, all in childhood. So these are coming up heavily right now, causing addictions, causing codependent behaviors, causing toxic, violence and domestic violence and things like that. All right, they're going to cut that energy out now. They wanted me to clarify what I'm speaking on because it is an issue. And it's been kind of placated quite a bit. And I will even say sometimes I placate it, and not on purpose, but just for the sake of for relatability in my content and for it to make sense for people. But on the same note, relatability, people need to know that this is something that is revving up right now, because this collective is like being pulled under tow by Pluto into the underworld, into their ego dust, into their dark night of the soul, to basically face these things, because there's too many feminines moving into the direction of empowerment for this type of behavior to continue. Like, there's no mating there, there's no connection there is nothing there when this collective is taking so much power, and this collective is playing, quite frankly, a bit of a child with a mother type energy here, right? So parentifying a partnership or parentifying a friendship parentifying intimacy. And this is something, again, that it seems like, why this seems so extreme, this seems so clinical, and it's not. This is so common, but we just don't talk about it enough. And that's really the point that my guides are wanting me to kind of dig into. They're like, just get raw with it, like put the fork in the steak and let's talk about it. This is seriously, like, it's time to kind of bring this up in a way that people understand, like, this is so common. This rage, this arrogance, this misogyny, this, and it's not just men, but there's, I've been doing more gender-based readings recently just because of the current events, but this isn't just men, these are women as well. Take another deep breath there, thank you. These are some uncomfortable conversations, but to be quite frank, you're gonna feel so much better, because after this comes this portal into aspects of yourself that you haven't been able to access, aspects of yourself that were hidden beneath addictions, beneath those toxic relationships, those codependencies. This is the feminine energy rising. This is the masculine energy falling. There is a feminine collective that preceded this masculine collective, in the sense that they rose into their divine healing of the feminine energy, awakened in this masculine collective. This masculine collective is falling into the ego death, into the shedding, as this feminine collective moves up. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a constant rotating force that happens with healing. This happens within the Kundalini, within one body, but this also happens within collectives as well. This is how we grow. It's like tying your shoelaces, right? You got to put the feminine energy in first, and then the masculine, the feminine, the masculine, right? So that being said, I'm going to come back to the lesson between them. Take a deep breath here. That's when I start to feel shaky, almost like I have a hangover. And a lot of you guys know I used to be an alcoholic, so this energy coming through has been really intense to experience. As someone who's been sober for almost 4 years, this has been one of the most challenging transitions that I have personally experienced when it comes to shedding and purging energy. This will drive you crazy. If you are in similar shoes as mine and you're sober, this can drive you crazy to feel this type of disruption to your nervous system, because what I'm feeling is some stuff stirring in the root, so the Kundalini kind of stirring or awakening. Now, this doesn't mean everyone's going to go through a Kundalini awakening, but it does mean that the base, the core, the foundation of who you are is starting to shed. It's shaking, right? So if your foundation is shaking, it's like your body is experiencing an earthquake, just like a home or a building would, right? So you're doing this number from the base of your spine up. And the effect that it's having is a lot of shifting in your third eye. So your perception, the third eye is about oneness. It's about, when you take in new information, being able to place it, being able to make it make sense, and being able to see more things possible. And when you take in a lot of light codes, a lot of crown chakra energy, when that opens up and that activates, and you pull more and more intelligence codes and remembrance codes in through that crown and that third eye, you have to make sense of it in the third eye. Your perception is used to a certain world. When you get introduced to new, higher frequencies and ways of experiencing life, all of a sudden your nervous system has to make sense of that in that third eye. Now we have to see the world through a more expansive set of eyes, and we aren't used to that. That takes a minute sometimes, and you can experience lots of ego death just through that process. So some people are experiencing both at the same time, and it's like a crunching effect in your chakra system. And some people are just simply experiencing the light codes. It's hitting their subconscious mind. They're not actually actively witnessing the light codes enter their subconscious mind, because it's subconscious, but they are experiencing lots of frustrations at the root. So like their inner child's like lashing out, and they're like angry and things like that, or they're acting more childish or just extreme than usual or erratic. So for some of you guys dealing with this collective is not really in a place to have like a a real conversation with you is either going to be super egoic, it's going to be focused from their perspective only, it's going to be, for some of these, it's just, they're not in a healthy place right now. And I say that just, to safety 101. Take this as this resonates for you. Because again, that's not going to relate for everybody. All right, I'm going to take a breath. Just like this energy is wound up, I get wound up when I read it. So I'm going to take a second, but that explains the chakra system and how this operates. Let me take a deep breath. So that selfishness energy definitely coming through this collective as well. But it's the way we're communicating, the Nine of Cups here, and that's the challenging thing in this situation, because I just feel like this collective just feels a little bit more stable. Like they've been on this ride for a minute, they've been experiencing this, and this collective coming forward with some kind of love offer or proposal is putting this collective in the hermit mode. How do I respond to this? Because you're also taking on a bit of this collective selfishness and urgency. And it feels like they're being urgently pushed towards an ego death and urgently pulling on your energy to avoid and resist that ego death. So that's the energy this collective's taking on, and it's creating lots of aggression, lots of rage. Mars energy, Pisces energy. People don't realize that Pisces is like the extremes of both worlds and everything in between. It is like Christ consciousness. It is like the all that is. So for Pisces to be mixed with Mars over here and Capricorn energy, 10th house, this is a very protective yet it's unpredictable. Let me just say that. This is a very protective, very focused energy, but our direction is a little off with Pisces because it ranges from too many things. We're seeing too many things at once, and our zoom is probably off focus. We're zoomed into the wrong thing, and we're feeling too many things all at one time. So with that, again, this is a time to slow down before we answer these proposals, before we, send that text or block that person or whatever. This is a time to kind of sit with this. What is this offering? Because this is interesting, the dynamic I see with this. This collective, while they have a lot to learn from this one, seems to be really good at pulling them under. So this collective is having to almost be harsh in their cutoff game. Queen of Swords and Death. The Two of Cups beneath it. Exactly. It's time to cut off this relationship. It's time to cut off this situation. It's time to face our fears with this person and standing up to them. And with this, I talked about this on my live last night, but I said, look, you will feel the energy from this collective and feel called to fight them, argue with them, or block them, run from them. Just completely just like ghost. And the challenge with this is to show no emotion. Show no emotion, okay? And the more that you operator voice, just matter of factly neutral answers to questions, this collective, the more they're going to be dumbfounded and stuck and kind of like running in a circle until they move on. If you give them fear, or if you block them and chase, or if you give them fear and block them, or if you chase them out of some kind of pride and need to change their mind or their opinion or their actions, It's only gonna feed more of a fight here. It's only gonna like cost this collective more time. Which sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that time to get over something. For confirmation, especially if it's like a long-term relationship or something like that, where you're like, I gotta fight with this person, argue with this person until I realize why this is toxic and why I can't do this, right? Sometimes you gotta go through that for your own mental health, and so be it. But safety first. I will say this collective is a bit unpredictable in their behavior right now. Into this portal, this is gonna start to really present itself next week. So if you don't feel this right now, no worries. And it's going to be a lingering cloud from this, probably up until Mercury's post retrograde shadow is over on the 23rd. So you could feel a cloud from that collective still kind of looming a bit into like up into the, not 23rd, the 25th. But on the 23rd, we have a new moon in Virgo, and right after the sun moves into Virgo. This portal has a lot of you, yeah, okay. This portal is meant to help you access aspects of yourself that are unique and different, aspects of yourself that you're going to monetize off of, you're going to live off of, you're going to shift your lifestyle from. You're going to step into that life that you've been wanting to manifest. And here's the thing about when you dive into it from this angle, you know, there's less of that. What does it look like? What is it? Planning things out and then running into the roadblocks later. This is just learning how to flow with your talent. The best aspects of yourself, just letting yourself flow and move and the right things just come. This is what Jupiter has been really trying to encourage all of us to do instead of trying to plan and perfect everything. Virgo's in the south node, let it go, let it go. Move with water. Flow. What feels right, what feels good, what helps you create. Just move with it, just flow with it. But there is so much criticism coming in as I tap into this, which is Virgo's shadow side. So as we move into the sun and the moon in Virgo next week, 22nd, 23rd, that new moon is going to help us manifest, but you're going to have to face the perfectionism wound. And quite frankly, this Hermit card is asking you to really see your worth and to give back to yourself the way that you deserve. This is taking your healing, this is taking your self-care, self-love, and what you attract into your own hands by not letting things that don't deserve your energy continue to pull on you, drag you into their awakening process. This isn't your problem. It's just been a problem that this collective has made it seem like you are the only one that can do this. You have to save me. You have to love me. They've made it seem like your priority for so long. And this is, we're talking centuries, okay? So back to the day old. Is that a saying? Day old? I don't know anymore. The issue of this human condition, this has always been an issue, okay? I mean, quite frankly, men don't give birth to life. Men don't sacrifice life to give birth, okay? So they're inherently going to be more selfish because they've never had to biologically sacrifice in order to create life. So they're inherently more selfish. Period. And the only argument that you can give me is the gaslighting, you're shaming me argument. So this is exactly why we're in the situation we're in, and this is exactly how the universe is working to push us out of it. I hope this helps clear up any confusion you've been experiencing, as well as energetic disturbances, which seem to continue to come in and out of the heart chakra. So boundaries, focus on your boundaries, focus on your self-care, and making yourself priority. Anything else before we close this reading today, Spirit? Stop fighting yourself on what you want, is what I'm hearing. Stop fighting yourself on what you want. If something feels like this is what I want, then follow it. Now, again, like obviously within reason, is this actually what you want? Like sometimes you gotta step back, zoom out, and see that for what it is. Like, is this actually what you want? Is this person who you want? Is this situation what you want? And when you're around them too much, their desires can weigh more than your own because of that same dynamic that we keep talking about with codependency. So just stop arguing with yourself about what you want. I think some of you guys, this is really pointing to you want something, but there's other people who don't want you to want that, because when you do, you leave them behind. When you do, you make yourself a priority and they lose their place on your priority list, right? So this is really saying this is issue of self-criticism, vitriol, again, criticism from other people is going to come through harshly due to this Virgo energy that's coming up, and the rest of where Saturn and Neptune and Chiron all are in Aries right now. It is really trying to get you to put yourself first. It is really trying to get you to take care of yourself and choose your highest path. Choose the path where you get the most. That's when you feel the best. That's when you are sort of service to other people the most. That's when your work is going to reach and expand and touch the most, is when you are taken care of first. You cannot expand, you cannot succeed, you cannot elevate, you cannot reach from an empty barrel. You have to fill your cup first. So remember that with this hermit energy, with this Virgo energy. Virgo is sometimes play a game with your mind and make you feel like you're not good enough. That is coming from perfectionism. And that is exactly what the astrology is saying. You guys have been so brainwashed to be what other people need for capitalism, for patriarchal reasons, for societal conditioning reasons, and we're moving out of that with Pluto in Aquarius. So the next 20 years, as much as you think this is it, I need you to understand that the universe has more power over you and your energy, and I'm going to continue to sway not just you but other people into new directions that we've never seen before, and it's going to be really, really confusing for those who can't let go of the past. It's going to be really, really confusing for people who can't let go of the way things were and are currently literally just, they're disintegrating before our eyes. Is it really that hard to see yourself doing something, being a certain way that other people might not fully agree with? Or is it time for you to separate your feelings about yourself from other people who are still working through limiting beliefs? I hope that helps. So much love. That is it for today. We're going to disconnect any cords that might have attached here, intentionally or unintentionally, and thanking the ancestors and guides that came through to help me deliver that message. Have a wonderful day.